A lot of people say I'm doing this out of revenge because we've got beef. I won't deny it. Me and Diddy have had issues. We've been going at it since 2006. He blocked Mace from signing with me. I dissed him in a track. He launched the vodka line. I launched mine. It's been a back and forth for years. You know why he's so desperate to shut this film down? Because he knows we found things. Footage, phone calls, conversations he recorded himself, contracts, NDAs, real receipts. But Diddy ain't the only problem. He's just a symbol. This industry is full of people like him smiling in the spotlight while pulling strings and hurting people behind the scenes. I don't make things up.
He refused to file bankruptcy.
He refused to file bankruptcy?
Well, yeah, because just his ego. I would have filed bankruptcy immediately. I don't mind bankruptcy.
Oh, you?
I'm not gonna pay. I'm filing Chapter 11 so fast, your head's gonna spin. I'll be back, you go, what happened? No, I'm just not gonna pay.
There's a huge difference in energy internationally at 50 Cent and Jay-Z. In fact, his largest selling record sold 430-something thousand copies. My largest selling records sold 5 million. You let them be fooled in America and think there's a competition there. Because America can be purchased. We can buy it with marketing dollars. You see what I'm saying? But the rest of the world, there's not enough marketing dollars to go around.
That's why I made a statement about Taylor Swift. I wish he would come take one of my awards so I could black his eye in front of everybody. And Jay disagreed.
I want everyone to be clear. No one's scared of 50 Cent.
Does that bother you? Does it bother you?
No, it doesn't bother me. It's just his choice.
Why would you have to make that clear when no one's ever asked me if I'm afraid of Jay-Z?
The public is responding to his punk presentation. It's not 50 Cent. I don't have a problem with him. Kanye would not take a trophy from me. Neither Jay-Z.
Right.
Neither one of them.
What?
50 Cent just dropped season 2 of his Diddy documentary, and the new footage already has the industry talking crazy. This time, attention is shifting toward Jay-Z, with claims he may have stayed just far enough away while Diddy took the heat. Reports say Jay was around some of those parties and even came up in lawsuits tied to the whole situation, yet somehow never ended up in court. Now people are side-eyeing how certain cases quietly stopped moving, and with fresh clips surfacing, the questions are getting louder.
Same concept with the Super Bowl. See, they don't understand the relationship. They was trying to get him to do the Super Bowl without me.
Wasn't happening.
And that's not it. It wasn't happening.
No way.
You see what I'm saying? Because he would look and go, it's okay for the award shows not to give me the trophies. If you look at even Jay-Z's career, you can look at that and say the association to Beyonce is when he started to receive the 16 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. Right? And you go, prior to that, 1.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see the kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing. Right. They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show.
50 Cent has been hinting for years that Jay-Z moved differently behind the scenes, letting other people absorb the public fallout while he stayed protected. Their tension goes all the way back to the late 90s around How to Rob, and 50 never hid how he felt about Jay's rise. In his view, this wasn't just about talent or hit records. He believed Jay played the industry chess game heavy, using relationships, timing, and influence to box out competition and control momentum. From that perspective, both Jay-Z and Diddy built empires not just through music, but through power moves that made the business side hit different.
I remember one time walking in the studio, Bleak Beans, everybody was in there, and I was like, man, I'm telling you, man, y'all got a chance right now, just flood it, put out a lot of music, because 50 Cent is coming. And, you know, 4 months later, in the club hit, and it was over. And it was just like, okay, now everybody got to sit on the sidelines and wait this title.
50 Cent has long argued that Jay-Z and Diddy weren't just competing in hip-hop, they were helping decide who actually got to win. From his perspective, artists like Nas and others faced quiet resistance behind the scenes, while the public image stayed positive and supportive. 50 never fully bought into the industry unity narrative. He pointed toward power plays, pressure, and loyalty politics shaping careers in ways fans never really saw. The bigger claim, that Jay and Diddy weren't only building empires for themselves, they were influencing the entire playing field, including who rose up and who got left behind.
You couldn't be bigger than Jay-Z. You couldn't sell more records than Jay-Z. But all you had to do was listen to Benny Siegel, and Benny Siegel was, oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, he said that. That was the first of me actually hearing that. Like, oh shit. Like, I used to have questions like why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop right on top. If he wouldn't let me breathe or right before me, like I was always close, and I always thought like, damn, if a kid, back then it was physical copies. So if you had $20, $20 that you saved up and you was gonna buy an album, and it's under the same house, Rockefeller, between Jay and Beyonce, you won't, 9 times out of 10 you won't buy the Jay-Z album. I never understood that every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on time. And it was like, damn, like to have in-house competition at that magnitude was crazy. Jay already the boss, but I always thought that, like, let me breathe. But to maliciously plot to hold me back, I don't know, man. I don't believe that. I don't want to believe that. I mean, but like I said, dang.
50 Cent has spent years accusing Jay-Z of protecting his position instead of lifting other black artists around him. From 50's perspective, the game was less about support and more about controlling competition behind the scenes. One story that still gets talked about involves the Super Bowl halftime show, where claims surfaced that Jay allegedly did not want 50 included. But according to the narrative, Eminem stepped in and made it clear he wasn't performing unless 50 was on that stage too. That's when things reportedly changed real fast.
The big homie Jay-Z, right? I said to my nephew, I said, yo, listen, I have to ask him this straight up. So I said, yo, why? Who is the people that's on NFL? And he said to me, and I'm sorry for anybody who don't understand. And he said, the white guy called for 50 Cent. So I said, who's the white guy? I'm digging this Jimmy Iovine. And he said, no, Eminem called directly for 50. And he said,
that's his guy.
He said, I can't do it if I can't bring 50 up.
But that's his guy.
That's beautiful.
And guess who's Dre's guy?
Your guy.
Me.
Let's make him live.
I mean, Jay-Z's on a whole nother level. Like, I mean, you know, true. He's like, but you know what I like about 50? 50's on a whole nother level, but he's still approachable. You still get to meet the people and and you know, Jay got to remember the people that made him. You know, I'm not saying I don't got respect. I respect Jay-Z, 50, used to respect, you know, Diddy, but all that crazy going on. But, you know, I always respected him because I looked at, for New York, those were like the guys. You know what I'm saying? The guys with the most money and the most influence. So with Jay is like, when the last time you haven't seen Jay, so I think people are just gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I mean, Jay, you know, you gotta remember, he didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl. That was crazy. I'm like,
wait, Jay didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl?
You didn't know that? Yeah, he didn't want.
I remember Eminem pushed for it.
That was some haters. Yeah,
I remember Eminem was like, I'm not gonna do it unless 50 does it. I heard that.
Yeah,
but I didn't know that Jay was trying to stop it.
I don't think Jay. I don't know. 50 never told me that, but I don't think Jay wanted them there. I don't know.
Because of what, some of the.
I mean, you know, it's competition. You got to think. 50 always been competition for Jay. Remember, I'm about $1 with the 50 Cent.
That was a long time ago.
That was what, 9? What was that? 9?
But after that, they did a song together. Remember the whole
50 was always competition for this. Then remember Jay said, yo, 50's coming. He told Siegel and them, and Memphis Bleak and all them.
Yeah.
And come on, 50's like, he's on a whole nother level. You got to remember, he came after this. He came after Jay and Rockefeller. G-Unit came, and people might get on G-Unit, but with Eminem, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, nobody has outsold us, bro.
Yeah.
Nobody has had the effect that
Jay-Z and Diddy have moved through hip-hop together for decades, but recent controversy has people looking at that relationship a little differently now. Some commentators pointed out that while Diddy faced growing public pressure, Jay stayed noticeably quiet, and that silence sparked a wave of speculation about what might really be happening behind the industry curtain. At the same time, questions keep circling around old Cassie Ventura footage and why it suddenly resurfaced years later, with many saying the timing pushed the conversation into another level entirely. Still, despite all the theories online, no verified evidence has connected Jay-Z to Diddy's legal troubles.
Who was kind of like, we're done with this guy. You're not back. You're threatened to say this. Release the footage, right? So they released the footage. He comes out, issues an apology. While his lawyers accused the government of leaking the tape, it was later admitted as evidence in his trial. Again, January deal. March is raiding his house, Miami and LA. May, here's a video being dropped from CNN, even though they've been sitting on it for 8 years. September 2024, book is released, Kim's Lost Words, which, by the way, there's a lot of speculation with this thing here, so whatever I'm reading is not necessarily 100%. It is there, it is not there. The alias they use on who wrote the book is Shanti Millwood, which is an alias for Tupac, which is kind of weird. Why would you use that? This book appeared on Amazon, allegedly written by Kim Porter, accused Diddy of misconduct with minors. Porter's children denounced it as fake. Investigators revealed the real author was Chris Todd, who claimed he compiled the book from a
business. You'll live longer. Kind of like the mindset.
Surprised. How could you be surprised with anything that happens in hip hop? You know, hip hop is the Wild West. So you're gonna have the good, you're gonna have the bad, you're gonna have the ugly.
You think he's being targeted, or some of the stuff he's got, there's credibility on what they're coming after him with the tapes and the feds and raiding his Miami home, his LA home?
I believe he's being targeted.
You believe he's being targeted?
Yeah. I believe, somebody, has the power to pull the trigger to make, this domino effect happen.
Some people in the industry still can't get over how fast everything collapsed around Diddy. 1 minute he was being honored at major events and moving like untouchable royalty. Then suddenly the headlines flipped and the financial fallout reportedly hit into the hundreds of millions. For a lot of observers, it wasn't just the downfall that stood out, it was the speed of it. That sharp turn has fueled speculation that what happened behind the scenes may have been far more strategic than random.
Come on with Jay. The part with Jay. I go, oh shoot, like
to us, Black excellence,
that had to be there.
We getting tighter, you know what I'm saying? And united we stand, and ain't nothing else.
Black excellence, they're sitting there like, yeah. Billionaire brunch,
I hate you, man.
Unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you this year. Yeah. Come on, bro.
50 Cent has spent years implying that Jay-Z's influence in the industry runs a lot deeper than what fans see publicly, especially when it comes to situations tied to Diddy. From the beginning, 50 made it clear he never fully bought into Jay's polished image, arguing instead that real power was moving quietly behind closed doors. Through interviews, posts, and repeated commentary, he's continued questioning Jay's silence, business decisions, and connections inside hip-hop. In 50's view, too many moves line up too perfectly to be random, and he's hinted more than once that certain relationships were built around strategy, not coincidence.
Who was with Beyonce? When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. No, those trophies. The trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
You're gonna let him say that? Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he ain't show up.
He had like 20 now.
Oh, Lord.
He had like 18 since he's been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
You're not wrong.
He was one. He got some shit he's like drinking. His pictures with him like Thinks the cop.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades. Because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Why are you so on top of the business side of Jay-Z? You know what I'm saying? Some people like to just be an artist.
Yeah, I was actually forced to be an artist and a businessman because when I tried to get a deal, I couldn't get a deal, so I had to create Rockefeller Records. We actually created Rockefeller Records from nothing. And, you know, so I was forced to know both sides.
A lot of commentators see Jay-Z as someone who approaches every move like a long-term business play, with strategy sitting at the center of his career decisions. 50 Cent has even hinted that Jay's relationship with Beyonce helped elevate his image and lock in even more influence across the industry. And to be fair, the results speak loudly. From Grammy wins to billion-dollar business moves, Jay built a level of power that reaches far beyond music. Together, Jay-Z and Beyonce became more than artists. They turned themselves into a cultural brand, showing how carefully managed partnerships and influence can create a legacy that lasts for decades.
Star is busted. Jay-Z turned himself in tonight, and the cops started working on his rap sheet, accusing him of a stabbing at a trendy party.
Kimberly Richardson is at Midtown South right now. Kimberly.
Well, Rosanna, just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z. The rap star voluntarily turned himself in here at the precinct earlier this evening. Now, Carter is being held here in connection with that stabbing fight that erupted at the Kit Kat Club last night. But just a few moments ago, Carter's attorney had this to say.
He's not involved in this, period.
He was at the club?
That's my only comment. He wasn't involved.
So it was someone else that did the stabbing and the hitting?
I didn't say that. I said he was not involved in it.
Now, Slovis goes on to say that at no time was Jay-Z hiding from the police, that they were in touch with cops all day and that they're trying to resolve this as gentlemen. But as Mike Sheehan shows us, others say they've seen the dark side of Jay-Z.
I have my fault.
Jay-Z's career hasn't been completely untouched by controversy either. Back in 1999, his name made major headlines after an incident at New York's Kit Kat Club involving music executive Lance Rivera. Jay was charged in connection to the altercation, but the situation was eventually settled through a plea deal, and he avoided prison time. Since Diddy's legal troubles exploded, some online commentary has tried linking the two situations together through discussions about influence and industry power. Still, those comparisons remain speculative, and no court has proven allegations suggesting Jay-Z was involved in similar wrongdoing.
But that's why it's only business. It was really away from that. I explained why I didn't hang out with him, right? Because it's a little fluffy stuff going on.
It's not your scene.
It's not my style.
Not your scene.
They hug you from the front and the back at the same time. I got uncomfortable with him because the way he was acting to try and get me to hang out with him was like, yo, I'll take you shopping. Like, and I'm like, what you mean? Like, that's something you say to a woman you're attracted to, maybe.
Right.
It's just weird, bro. Like, and now you start to see a lot of the weird stuff that was there. It looks like it all lines up, don't it? It was not in the closet. It was in front of you and you wasn't seeing it because you see the beards or you see the girls. So you didn't look at them the way it actually is to a degree. Now, when I say people respond, how people respond to things matter, like the internet will take to it and just go off with it. Meek responds being the uncomfortability. He goes, yo, I spend $100,000 to find out why my name is in this like this. And it's in it only because he's uncomfortable.
One person who was always anti-Diddy and was always speaking about Diddy as a problematic person was 50 Cent. And it turns out that it's just been announced that he's created a docu-series on Netflix. I can't wait to see this. The other end of that, every person who has tried to speak out about this, who has tried to speak out about the industry, the type of people that are controlling the industry, the attacks that people face from the media if they try to speak out, is always the same. They're called crazy. And an example of one such individual who went through those sorts of attacks is the actor Orlando Brown. He was on Disney, and I remember everyone telling us that he was totally insane and deranged when he was saying a lot of things that at the time sounded crazy, particularly about Diddy. Take a listen.
The requirement is you gotta say no to Diddy.
If it's new booty in the building, you know he's gonna get it.
Don't take your girlfriend to a Diddy party.
You can take but he wants you.
Diddy, to me, is the fall guy. We are still seeing a major effort to protect the big name.
Diddy's name was tied to controversy long before the current legal situation, including a past shooting case where he faced accusations but was never convicted. Now, years later, the roles look completely different, with Diddy facing possible prison time while Jay-Z continues insisting he knew nothing about any alleged wrongdoing around him. That's the part some critics keep questioning. They point to Jay being one of the most connected and powerful figures in hip-hop for decades, yet supposedly never seeing anything happening behind the curtain. 50 Cent has even claimed that after meeting Diddy once, he immediately saw someone he viewed as highly strategic, ambitious, and fully aware of how the industry game was really played.
Has been warning us about Jay-Z. Jay-Z has now had an official lawsuit. It's everywhere. It's now being talked about louder than ever. I guess, does that give you some peace to know that people are finally really questioning this man?
It's emboldening me. I spoke on Piers Morgan. I said that I had 3 victims that I've been working with, victims of the Carters, that were ready to come forward. This might help them feel a little more confident now. So this is great because he's been evading. But the thing is, everyone in the backdrop knew that he was the celebrity John Doe. Everybody knew that. They knew it when I did Piers Morgan.
Is Beyonce celebrity B?
I hope to God not. But she was around. And she's very... she's got enough on her plate. After everything that happened with the election and everything that's happening right now, I'm not going to dump on that woman. She got better fish to fry.
Well,
what I will say is that her husband, she knows exactly who he is.
Yeah.
She knows. She knows. Rihanna was trafficked to Def Jam.
She was an innocent baby when she came over here. And look at her now.
14 going on 15 years old. Flown over without parental supervision in a private plane by a man who was supposed to be a producer who auditioned her at 3 a.m. in the fucking morning in a hotel room. Auditioning at 3 a.m. in the morning, a 14-year-old girl. She was flown to another country. She was taken to Def Jam headquarters. She was left in a conference room alone with Sean Carter for nearly 6 hours alone with no parental supervision. Her father collected a $500,000 check. She has the fastest inked deal in Def Jam.
According to some voices in the industry, none of these conversations were ever truly secret. People like Jaguar Wright, Gene Deal, and others connected to Jay-Z and Diddy had been making claims publicly for years, but most people either ignored it or brushed it off. Critics argue the real issue wasn't silence, it was attention. As long as the money kept flowing and the industry stayed profitable, allegations and victims reportedly took a back seat. In that view, power and profit mattered more, and the people caught in the middle were treated like collateral damage.
100 times that I've seen this being reported, but now according to TMZ, Donald Trump is thinking about giving Diddy that pardon. I will say the wording of this TMZ article is a little confusing, but they are citing that their source is a high-ranking White House official. According to TMZ, Donald Trump is thinking about commuting Diddy's sentence as early as this week. But TMZ cites this source as Donald Trump is vacillating, which means that he's not sure which way he wants to go. He's swaying back and forth, and he's indecisive about what he wants to do. I'm sure the wording about Donald Trump being indecisive on whether to give a pardon or not to Diddy is the fact that Diddy was publicly talking crap about him, because we all know how Donald Trump is. But it can still potentially be a big deal to know that he is even potentially considering a pardon for Diddy at this point, because he doesn't have to consider jack crap. The White House officials who are saying that they are urging Donald Trump to not give Diddy a pardon say that they are not sure what Donald Trump is going to end up doing, because at the end of the day, he does what he wants. We do just know he granted a pardon last Friday to another person that was in Congress. And I think with Donald Trump, we literally never know exactly what he is going to do. But all I gotta say is, if you're about to free Diddy, you also better free those Epstein files too.
Just 3 days after Diddy was sentenced to over 4 years in prison on prostitution charges, President Donald Trump seems to confirm he's heard from the mogul's legal team. The comments coming Monday from the Oval Office as reporters asked about a pardon for Jeffrey Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, who's serving 20 years for child sex trafficking.
I wouldn't consider it or not consider it. I don't know anything about it. So, but I will speak to the DOJ. I don't know. I mean, I'd have to speak to the DOJ. I'll look at it. I have a lot of people have asked me for pardons. I call him Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon.
I love Diddy. You know, he's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy. I think he's a good guy. I'm going to stick up for him.
Trump and Diddy's ties go all the way back to the late 90s. Diddy was reportedly a guest at the president's 2005 wedding, and they ran in the same social circles.
One mogul after another. It's mogul time. It's your boy Diddy.
ET's cameras caught them together at this New York charity event.
Diddy reportedly isn't planning to disappear from the spotlight without a fight. New reports suggest conversations have taken place behind the scenes about a possible comeback. And TMZ claims discussions involving White House officials may even include a potential pardon as early as next week. Rumors around this had been floating around for a while, but now people are starting to think there could actually be a real path developing behind closed doors. If that happens, the entire situation could shift fast.
50 Cent caught wind of it. He said, man, you can't get no pardon running your mouth like that. LOL, get up out of here. As he had reposted that clip of Diddy talking down on Trump and calling Trump out, as they did have a relationship at one point in the past. Now, Diddy has been very vocal about being anti-Trump, and supposedly this pardon is allegedly coming from Diddy's team now, as he was convicted. We saw what happened Friday, 4 years in federal prison for the two-man act counts that he was found guilty of in this RICO things that he got denied of. But with that going on, he still was ultimately convicted right here. Now, 50 Cent, he gonna jump out there and go at Diddy every chance he get. I feel like he really uses it as marketing, but there is a little sentiment there as Dirty Daphne, that is his baby mama. She is somebody that got up on the stand and testified against Diddy.
Now, and Sean Combs is taking the first step to appeal his conviction and prison sentence. His attorney today filed a notice of appeal. Earlier this month, the disgraced music mogul was sentenced to 4 years in prison on prostitution-related charges. His lawyers have argued the conviction should not stand because Combs lacked a financial motive for transporting male escorts. More papers detailing the arguments behind the appeal are expected.
Multiple outlets have reported claims that Donald Trump could consider commuting Diddy's sentence as early as next week, and that possibility is already sparking heavy backlash online. People closely following the case argue a move like that would look deeply unfair, especially to alleged victims like Cassie Ventura, with some drawing comparisons to the privilege conversations that surfaced around Ghislaine Maxwell. Critics say justice should not change based on fame, money, or powerful connections. At the same time, 50 Cent has been loudly pushing back on social media, warning Trump publicly that Diddy should not receive a pardon. Reports also claim 50 even contacted the judge before sentencing, arguing he believed Diddy would fall back into the same behavior if released.